Okay, so for the first card, this is for Aries Sun, Aries Moon, and Aries Rising. We have the Two of Wands. So this definitely would indicate that you guys have put something into motion and you are now waiting on the results of something that you put into something that you've materialized and that you've put into motion. So hence waiting on results. So it is clarified by the Four of Cups in the reversed position. So this would definitely indicate that you guys have come out of a period of dissatisfaction, discontent, just boredom. You've come out of that period and you're really ready to go out and enjoy some good times, meet some new friends, possibly run into old acquaintances. You're just ready to go out and have a good time, whatever that means for you. So this is about us, returning back to the world, after a period of reflection and, discontent. So you're definitely feeling the passion again. Sometimes this can definitely indicate that an opportunity comes up for you. For some of you, this opportunity could be one that's financial. For others, this could be an opportunity that is about love. So for some of you, you just might have found a new love interest recently. So that'll resonate with a few of you. Okay, so this would be our circumstances. So we have the Ace of Cups. So this is a beautiful energy all the way around. This can indicate the development of psychic abilities. For some of you, those of you who already have psychic abilities, they could definitely be expanding. This can also indicate that a new romance could be starting. Yep. And for some of you, this could just be about attaining something that you love, whether it's an actual person or whether it's an actual physical thing. If it's something that you love, this would definitely be a positive sign. Now, this card can also indicate the birth or the conception of a child. This could be for you. This could be for someone in your family. This could be for a friend. It can go either way. But this card is about also having a breakthrough, a new awareness in regards to love. Our heart is definitely at the forefront, so to speak, or issues of the heart. Okay, yeah, ouch. So it's clarified by the Empress in the reverse position. So for some of you, this is just going to be for a few of you, okay? If you are trying to conceive a child, maybe you've had a lot of difficulties in the past. Yeah, this is definitely one of the energies where it's like, yeah, no. It's not going to happen right now. So for those of you who are adamantly focused on that, yeah, this is just not the time, There might be some detoxifying you need to do, finding more balance, because if we're having a hard time, there's a reason. There's not always a reason. Sadly, some women just cannot, unfortunately. And then it really makes you wonder why certain people can. Okay, that's a whole nother talk show right there. Okay, going off track. Now, for some of you, this could be like a mother. It doesn't necessarily have to be, but it would be someone that you receive your nurturing from. And as we well know in this day and age, that there are plenty of fathers that take on the nurturing role. So this can be about a male or a female that nurtures us. Perhaps maybe their health may not be so good right now. That'll resonate with a couple of you. For some of you, this could be about a mother like constantly trying to, or a mother or a father that is constantly trying to interfere. And this could also be like stepmom, stepdad, or mother-in-law, father-in-law. Yeah, so this can be where they kind of, try to interfere, cause problems for you. Yeah, not the best energy. Now, overall, this is about our home life and the need to pay attention before things get too unruly and out of control, okay? For some of you, it could be indicating that perhaps maybe you might have a troubled home. Maybe for some of you, there could be some marriage issues. For some of you, this could be like low income, inadequate resources, finances. So those are pretty much the big ones. It's just, there could be a lack of security, and rarely this can indicate, and this will only resonate with literally a handful of you. Sometimes this can indicate that perhaps maybe your home or the land that your home is sitting on could potentially be polluted or contaminated in some way. And this could be causing underlying health issues, or it could be a drain on the money trying to fix the problem as well. But overall, this can be a loss in the family, so if there is a loss, someone passing, my deepest condolences. Now, typically, this loss can be just about anything. It could even be a job, it could be just a loss of extra finances, and so then we start having problems making things work, and paying all our bills. Sometimes this can be about there's a lack of understanding with family members, and this is causing some problems. And sometimes this is just absolutely indicating that there's a dysfunctional family. But, don't feel bad. I mean, what the hell's normal, Excuse my French, but, what's normal? But you know what I mean. I mean, it's definitely about paying attention to the home life, the family life, because, something's gone awry there. So definitely need to be paying more attention to it. So this would be your focus. So we have the Queen of Swords. So the Queen of Swords, she is very much a analytical type of thinker. She is fair and honorable. She definitely takes her time when it comes to making decisions, because she, like the air suggests, air element, the swords, she likes to take her time so that she can weigh the pros and the cons to each decision, to each choice. You know, she wants to make a well-rounded decision that considers everything. You know, she wants to weigh it out. Now, this could actually be representing an actual person that is in your life. They could be male or female. Or this could be you just going through this type of energy, and perhaps, you know, maybe you're just channeling this queen's energy. Perhaps maybe you're trying to analyze situations more, trying to figure out why things are not working, what's wrong. So you could potentially be analyzing the situation. For some of you, you might be getting some advice, you know, because the Queen of Swords, she or he could be an advisor, a teacher. You know, the Queen of Swords can also be a lawyer or even a counselor. So some of you could be seeking out counseling. Some of you could be seeking out a lawyer. Some of you could just be seeking out an advisor for, you know, helpful advice. And she's very much a very keen observer of people. She's one of those people that definitely just sits back and watches and analyzes and observes. She's a very good public speaker, organizer. She's definitely got leadership abilities. She's got a very, very strong character. But she's seen many hardships in her life. So she really knows how to handle loss. So she's very good at knowing how to go through those issues and how to handle it and still maintain her balance. Now, she has this sword here, okay? And this sword is representative of the truth. So this could be somebody that comes and tells you the truth, or this could be you telling people the truth. And, well, the truth is not always a popular thing, okay? Sometimes the truth hurts, but let me tell you, it doesn't hurt near as bad as being lied to for an extended period of time. Lies hurt worse, at least in my opinion. Lies hurt worse. I'd rather actually deal with the truth up front, and I know you guys would too. So, issues of the truth can definitely come up when we see the Queen of Swords. Okay, so it's clarified by the Six of Coins. So this is a card of like charity. This is a card of a bonus. This can be a card of receiving a loan. So some of you could have potentially applied for a loan. With this being in the upright position, it would definitely favor it, so that would be a good thing. Now, some of you could be seeking out financial advice from this woman. Perhaps for some of you, this man or woman could be offering you money or advice or assistance in some way. But overall, this is money coming in, you know. I can't say that it will be, you know, everything that you need, or, you know, a large amount. For some of you, it might be. For some of you, it will be just enough to help you out temporarily, get you by, you know, but again, you know, this could be someone helping out with advice, especially since we have the Queen of Swords there. But again, you know, that can play out many different ways. You know, like I said, the Queen of Swords could actually be you, or it could be someone else that is in your life or that comes into your life. You know, they could be represented by Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, but they don't have to be. You know, they might have some of those characteristics, but again, they don't have to be. And again, it can be male or female, so just gotta throw that out there because every Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, you guys are all on your own personal journey, and everybody's situation is a little bit different, so. Okay, so this is your recent past, and here we have the Three of Wands. So this is an excellent card. This is a card of opportunity, but this is also a card of our ships coming in. So those ships are bringing us resources and cargo and information as well. But, you know, they bring in money. For some of you, this is a job opportunity. For some of you, this is a project, like a creative project, maybe even a financial project, maybe even a job where there is travel across or over water in some way, shape, or form. Could have been a project that has to do with water, you know, marine life, you know, anything that has to do with the water or traveling. But again, this is the past. Oh, ouch. Okay, so it's clarified by the sun in the reverse position. So it looks like there was a great opportunity, but perhaps maybe there might have been a bit too many delays. Maybe those delays caused you to lose your optimism and your enthusiasm about this job or opportunity or project. So there could have been delays. For some of you, this could be pointing towards, you know, you could have been dealing with issues. Like you could have been at a crossroads in your relationship or your marriage, wondering if you should call it off or if you should continue. Sometimes this can be a card where we're kind of at our wits' end, but we're just so frustrated with the delays. And it's also a card of having low self-esteem and not having enough confidence. I mean, we always experience delays from time to time. But when we experience a delay, we don't want to just give up and say, oh, well, you know, you got to get back up and you got to get back, you know, going. I mean, if it's not back to the same opportunity, then, you know, find a new opportunity, but don't just sit around and do nothing, you know. Don't let it zap your optimism and your enthusiasm. I mean, sometimes we do experience these setbacks, and sometimes we actually experience these setbacks for a very good reason. But in that moment, we just don't realize that this is really a blessing that we're being denied and delayed, you know? And sometimes it takes, you know, a couple months, couple of years for us to realize, oh, wow, it really was a good thing that that didn't work out or that that was delayed. Trust me, anytime a delay happens, it's very, very frustrating, but there's always a very good reason, and you just got to trust the universe, trust spirit, whatever works for you. But you got to maintain having faith. You don't want to lose your optimism here, because we got to keep pushing forward. We got to keep pushing forward. And look, y'all don't need to be running around here lacking self-confidence and having low self-esteem. I can't have my Aries feeling all doubtful, okay? That doesn't work for me. Pull it together, Aries. We're going to be all right, okay? We're going to be all right. Do not stay in this. Granted, it is the past, but there is some rough things, and I don't want you guys falling prey to this again, okay? Believe in yourself. I believe in you. I believe in you. I want you to believe in yourself. Okay, so this is the present, the here and the now energy. We have Knight of Wands. So, yeah, this sucks, okay? But, again, this is a temporary type of influence. So, the Knight of Wands in reverse, when I see this definitely lets me know that, either things at home, and I can definitely see at the home, but things at home or things like at work, in the office, or even both, could just be a hot mess. It's like, problem after problem after problem. Now, a lot of times with this card, there is vulnerability. There can be jealousy. There can be personal conflict. This stems from having a lack of self-confidence. You might even be in a bit of a argumentative type of mood because of everything that you're going through and everything you're experiencing right now. But I'm telling you guys, it's temporary. It's not going to last forever. And, we got 6 planets in retrograde right now, you guys. And Mars is one of them. And Mars rules Aries. So, yeah, this is definitely the time to try to think before we react. Because we really don't want to cause ourselves any more issues if we don't have to. And this isn't just directed to Aries. This is for everybody. Because when Mars is in retrograde, everybody is more prone to saying things that they don't necessarily mean. That impulsive speech, just, verbal diarrhea, just bam, and oops, I didn't mean for it to quite come out like that, but, it's already said. So, it can cause more problems. So we just want to be cautious and look out for that because, yeah, Mars is going to be retrograde for a while. A few months, actually. So, yeah. Just be careful. But like I said, this is temporary, you guys. I just don't want you guys getting caught up. I don't want you guys sinking any further down into low self-esteem and lacking self-confidence. You need to be optimistic. You need to believe in yourself. I believe in you. I believe in you. I want you to believe in yourself too, okay? This too shall pass. It will. So this is clarified by the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups, again, this can be male or female, but typically this is someone who is a good wife, good husband, a loving mother, a loving father, whatever she's devoted to. she's devoted herself to whatever she commits to. You know, she will see it through to the end. This is the type of woman that is willing to be of help, you know, because she's quite concerned about the welfare of others. She's a very, very intuitive woman, or man. She tends to rely more on the intuition rather than logic and intellect. So she definitely tends to act more off of her intuition. But she's very emotionally deep as well. And she always wants to see what the root cause is of everything. So she likes to go very deep in the way that she thinks, because she wants to know not only, you know, why is this happening right now? She wants to know the root cause of it. But most of all, she just wants to be of help. You know, she's got a great imagination. So, you know, she can also be representing art, music, poetry, anything that's artistic and creative like this. And like family or hospitality type of careers would be this woman's niche, so to speak. She's also a healer, like an emotional healer. So some of you could be dealing with a woman like this, and perhaps maybe she may feel like she's part of the problem. Maybe some of you could be jealous, but you know, not all of you are going to be jealous. For some of you, this woman's actually trying to help. But, you know, this could be someone that's in the home, or someone that's in the, you know, the office, you know, the job. Or for some of you, this could be you taking on her energy to wade through all this insecurity and uncertainty. So this would be the near future. Hello, we got the Ace of Coins. So this is definitely a new direction is going to be presented. So look, it's been rough, y'all. It's been really rough, okay? But a new financial direction is coming. So sure, maybe things were delayed, maybe things haven't worked out, maybe things are just a mess right now. But it's going to get better. It's going to get better, okay? So for some of you, this could potentially be a new job offer. For some of you, you know, you might start a small business. For some of you, you might invest in something, maybe something like real estate. You know, this can be many different things. But this is us being given a new direction financially. Of course, we definitely want to be careful, especially in regards to actually investing our own money. We need to definitely try to leave extra money in the event that some unsuspected things might pop up. You never know. Sometimes I'm just trying to prevent this from going reverse. So we just want to make sure we don't overextend ourselves financially, okay? But hey, overall, this is an absolute blessing. For some of you, you know, this could be indicating that you do receive some money, whether it's from a loan or you just happen to get lucky. You never know. But I'm thinking for most of you that this is going to be like a job opportunity or a financial opportunity. It could be like a side project. But hey, if it brings extra finances, I'm all for it. Oh, would you look at that? We got double dose here. 2 aces. Ooh, okay, so yeah, we're definitely focused on beginnings and new things starting. What I love about the Ace of Wands is typically this is the card of like the hand of God, where, you know, we're getting the thumbs up from spirit, so to speak. So, yeah, this is us being given a new direction. Perhaps some of you will go in a creative type of project. But no matter what this is or what this represents for you, we've got a double dose of new start. In getting the Ace of Wands, this is a thumbs up from Spirit. So it's, to me, it's absolutely beautiful. And it also seems like it would be something that you're very passionate about. And hey, that's what we need, is passion, because that will keep us involved. I love it. It's like the flame being reignited, you know. So I said I love passion, and it's like, you know, passion is, you know, it's going to keep us, you know, drawn into it here. So I'm loving it, you know. That's absolutely new start, you know. And to me, it's like a blessing to have the Ace of Wands to clarify it, because it's like a total thumbs up from Spirit, like, yes, this is the way. So things are getting better, guys. They're getting better. Okay, so this would be your attitude. So we have the Knight of Coins in the reverse position. So he is quite moody. Some might even say a bit malcontent. Now, this is definitely the slowest moving knight out of all of them. But in the moment right now, for your attitude, this can indicate perhaps maybe you're having a hard time focusing. Maybe you're feeling pretty scattered. You know, sometimes we can be a bit irresponsible when this energy pops up. Like we're not following through on commitments that we've made. And that's definitely not good energy. We don't want to be stuck in this. You know, and like I said, this is the slowest moving knight, with him being in the reverse. You know, maybe some of you are being very slow to move on things. That'll resonate with a few of you. But a lot of times, issues regarding work, like new work, money, you know, just in general important matters in the life, it's like they are just at a standstill. And this can be very frustrating. And sometimes, you know, this can be the card of just, you know, wanting to withdraw, to be left alone, because you're kind of moody, and it's like, you know, I'd just rather be left alone, you know. And a little alone time won't hurt, you know, help you find your balance again. But just know this is temporary. That's it. Only temporary. It's not going to last. I mean, look at this. The attitude card is based more off of the top 5. Okay? But I don't want you guys being all negative and moody and not following through when these opportunities present themselves and these new starts present. You better pull yourself out of that. Don't be throwing away some good opportunities now, Aries. Don't do it. Okay. Now, I know that things may appear to be at a standstill, but they're not going to be, okay? It's not going to stay that way. Just do your best to try to get back on track. That's really the best advice I can give for this moment in time. Don't allow yourself to get down on yourself and not having self-confidence and letting those petty human emotions that every one of us on earth have get the better of you. And really, it's fear that feeds it all. Okay? And so I don't want you guys giving in to that. I completely understand being frustrated by all these delays and, withdrawing a bit. But, find that balance, Aries. Find that balance. Okay, so it's clarified by the 9 of Coins in reverse. So the 9 of Coins in reverse is definitely like an investment, like a financial investment, or even a job. It's like even our financial self-sufficiency, money's running away. So it's like there's a struggle there to maintain that. But also, it's like, for being so negative minded and fear's driving everything. Yeah, I mean, you're definitely going to look at it like everything's just delayed and, nothing's happening. It's not going my way. Just, give it up. Leave me alone, But, like I said, again, it's not going to last, Aries. I mean, come on. You guys are Aries. You guys are movers. You're shakers. You shake things up. You like to rock the boat from time to time. And sometimes it's just necessary to do, So don't stay down. If all of this is resonating with you, or even half of this, don't allow yourself to stay down for long, okay? Because I'm telling you, it's going to get better. And you must have optimism. You must have that enthusiasm. And most of all, you must believe in yourself. I know I keep banging that drum, but I'm going to keep banging it, Aries. I love you guys. And you guys got to be confident. I believe in you. Okay? And by God, you got to believe in yourself. And that's why I keep banging that drum. I love you guys. And I don't want to see all my Aries all depressed, That doesn't work for me. Y'all make me happy. Y'all make me laugh, I can't be having y'all depressed now. It's going to be okay. Things are getting better. They will. Okay. So, this is how other people see you. So we have the High Priestess in the reversed position. So automatically when I see her in the reversed position, then I know that you're not listening to your intuition. You're not listening to your higher mind, that inner voice, however you want to look at it. Sometimes this can be because, maybe you didn't like what your intuition was telling you. And so maybe you just decided to flip that switch to turn it off because you just didn't want to hear it. But we always want to pay attention to our intuition because it will not lead us wrong. The moment that we try to ignore it and say, no, maybe it's this, that's where we mess up, okay? Because that very first intuition is always correct. The moment that we stop and we start rationalizing, that's where we mess up, okay? Don't feel bad if this has happened because, we all go through it. Everybody. Sometimes multiple times. So, yeah, this is definitely about not listening to that higher mind, the intuition. Sometimes you feel like maybe your intuition could be wrong, inaccurate. When we have this card, there's always like a very cautious approach is being taken. Sometimes there can even be a bit of superstition as well. But this is the type of card, when it's in reverse, this is kind of like a puzzle, okay? Because there is a situation in your life where there's a bit of mystery, okay? Where, there's more than meets the eye. Like, all that appears might not be real or even true, you know? So there's like a mystery that needs to be solved, and it happens like piece by piece. It's like a puzzle. But anytime I see this card, there is definitely a need to be very, very cautious. Because when I see the High Priestess in reverse, this is someone who can manipulate psychic energy. And not necessarily to your own benefit, okay? So, someone might be looking at you like you might be taken advantage of. Like perhaps maybe someone else is taking advantage of you. Maybe some of you just might be feeling like other people are trying to take advantage of you. Yeah, but ultimately, we need to turn that fear off. I mean, there is a mysterious type of situation in your life of some sorts that definitely needs some more investigating for sure. But most of all, that intuition switch needs to be flipped back on. And we need to listen to that inner voice and allow it to guide us. Okay, well, it's clarified by the Strength in reverse. So, anytime we get the Strength card in reverse, who's at the top of the card? This tiger is. The tiger is representative of fear. So, fear has the upper hand over the woman or the male, okay? So, this is symbolic of fear getting the upper hand on you. Perhaps maybe what you fear is not even really true or real. And speaking of that, yeah, of course, we've got Mars in retrograde. Like I said, we got 6 planets in retrograde right now. Like, ouch, a lot of people are feeling pretty off, a little strange. And if you've been feeling pretty off, a little strange, and you just cannot pinpoint why, it's probably due to the planets. Because this is a whole lot of retrograde energy. And if you don't have a lot of retrogrades in your natal chart, then yeah, this will really be affecting you even more. Now, Neptune is retrograde. So Neptune is literally snatching the veil from our eyes, okay? If it hasn't done so to you yet, it will. It's coming. And what happens here is we are able to finally see situations and certain people for exactly as they are. Whereas before, it was an illusion, but we couldn't see it, okay? Because those Neptunian delusions. But now that Neptune is in retrograde, like I said, that veil is going to get snatched away from our eyes. And we are going to be able to see things exactly as they are. And certain people, we're going to see them exactly as they are. Okay? It's kind of like a, reality check, It's a really sobering wake up call, so to speak. And it can really suck. But, at the same time, like I said, I'd rather know the truth. I'd rather find out, so that I can deal with it accordingly. And I know you guys would too, so. But, back to this. So, again, fear has the upper hand, so this is probably just feeding into your suspicions. And yeah, there could very well be illusions around a certain situation that looks mysterious. Like I said, some of it could be real and legit. Some of it may not even be that real. It just may appear to be. But like I said, with Neptune, we'll see it. We're going to be able to see it. It's coming. If it hasn't happened to you yet, it's going to. But consider it a blessing, because I do. I'd rather see things as they really are, the cold, hard truth. Give it to me, please. But most of all, I don't want you guys allowing fear to get the upper hand, because, fear is literally in the driving seat. Fear has control of the steering wheel, so to speak. And we do not want this, okay? This is not good. So we've got to get this fear gone. I mean, if you got to exorcise that fear out of you like a damn demon, then do it. But do not allow fear to control your life. I apologize for my language, but it is what it is. I try to stay, somewhat conservative, but sometimes it slips. So anyway, y'all know this, especially if you watch my readings every month. Okay. But we have got to take back control. And also, another aspect of this card is sometimes we're trying to prove our point of view to somebody. Perhaps maybe you're trying to prove your point of view about a certain situation that seems pretty mysterious. And when the Strength card is in reverse, we may take a more physical approach towards trying to prove our point, when really we don't need to take a physical approach. That's really not going to solve anything, and it's not going to really get the point through, okay? So the way to get the point through is through, being compassionate and understanding, and most of all coming from a place of love and just pointing it out as it is. And if the people or the person receives it, great. If they don't, to each his own. We can't force people to see things. We can lead a horse to water, but we can't make him drink, So, but seriously, you guys, we got to get rid of this fear. Fear cannot live here, okay? It cannot live here. It cannot live within you. Take your power back. You need to take on, the whole motto of I am too blessed to be stressed about this crap, okay? Because things are going to get better. They really are, okay? And don't worry, any type of mysteries, things that seem like, there's more than meets the eye, situations like that, it's going to get revealed. It's going to get revealed. And you don't necessarily have to be the one to do it, Just let the universe handle it, because it will. Oh, it will. Okay, so this is the hopes or fears position. So we have the Six of Wands. This is a beautiful card. I love this card. So this is a card of us going after, a goal, and we accomplish it. We achieve it, and we work really hard to achieve this. And so with this accomplishment, a lot of times there is like, recognition. Sometimes there's, award, rewards. So you guys are definitely focused on achieving and accomplishing your goals. Ooh, okay. And hello, third ace. Third ace. That's what I'm talking about. So we got the Ace of Coins. Ace of Coins came out twice. See, what a thing of beauty. I mean, this is the hopes or fears position, but hey, one could look at this position as hopes and fears as our subconscious mind. So, yeah, this is some wonderful, amazing energy to be having in our subconscious mind. So let this flow. Let it flow. Because this is us being given a new financial opportunity and achieving it, accomplishing it. That's what I'm talking about. All right, so this would be the final outcome. So we have the Seven of Cups in the reversed position. So I always refer to this card as the emotional choices wish card. So you had a decision to make. So essentially, being the final outcome, this definitely indicates that you have made a decision and you're going to go in that direction and you're going to follow through on it. You're going to pick a project, or a job or a relationship, whatever it is for you that you care about, and you're going to see it through to the end. This is a card of saying, do not give up. When I see this card in the reverse in the outcome position, to me, this says, persist, continue doing what you're doing, okay? Because this card indicates that your plan is starting to work and you need to keep going forward. So do not give up. Do you hear me? Do not give up. Because, this is a card of you reap what you sow. So, you know what? Do not give up. This is an indication that what the choice you made, what you set into motion, is starting to work. Do not give up. Okay, so we get the Temperance card. So this definitely tells me that you guys will probably have to be dealing with other people. Perhaps maybe some of you will have to work as a team with other people. Maybe some of you will have to work with clients, customers, business partners, whatever it may be. This is a card of definitely working with other people. This is a card of patience. We need to have patience, okay? Patience and moderation, okay? This is a card where we can sometimes feel like our patience and our tolerance levels are being tested. And, you could absolutely say that they are. So, are you going to pass the test? This is totally up to you. Because, like I said, we're all on our own individual journey here. We're all different. So, This is also about recognizing that other people have skills that can be very helpful, okay? Sure, you have skills and abilities, but other people do too. And the temperance card is definitely about, let's slow down, let's work with others, let's be patient and tolerant. And then we can begin to see that, wow, this person does contribute in a big way, and so does this person. They have these particular skills that I'm missing, and so this is like a perfect storm for success. We just have to be patient and we have to work together, so to speak. So, patience, tolerance. If you learn these, you will find yourself successful. Okay? If you can pass this test, you're going to find yourself very, very happy and successful and achieving what you're going after. Whatever you chose, you're going to get it as long as you can pass that test. We got to be willing to work with other people. We got to be open-minded. We're not the only one that brings skills to the table, okay? So, it's just good to be able to see the good that other people bring to a situation as well. It's fantastic. Things are getting better, you guys. I'm telling you. 3 aces, and 2 of them are the ace of coins. Hello, things are getting better, okay? I know that this was pretty rough, okay? And these too, but things are going to get better. For some of you, you might have already been through most of this and you might be getting close to the outcome. For some of you, you're still, going through this and getting ready to see this begin to unfold in your life. So, everybody's a little bit different. So, okay, so for the bottom of the deck, we have 4 of Wands in the reverse. So, I'm pretty certain that I have given you my talk when I see this card. This is the card of we need to take stock. We need to be grateful and thankful for every single blessing we have, no matter how big or how small. If we're thinking lack and everything that's going wrong, everything we don't have enough of, this, that, and whatever, everything that we're lacking, that's where we're in the wrong state of mind. We need to refocus our thoughts. We need to change our frame of mind and force ourselves, if we have to think about what we are achieving, what we're going to achieve. See yourself achieving it. Put yourself in an attitude of gratitude, okay? Take stock of those blessings in your life, no matter how big or small, okay? Because we tend to take things for granted that we don't acknowledge on a day-to-day basis because they're just there, If you got electricity, that's a blessing. You got a house, an apartment, somewhere to sleep, that's a blessing. Are you eating tonight? It's a blessing. I can keep going on and on and on. These are things that we tend to take for granted, but they are very much a blessing because stop and think about it. There are so many people that are not going to have a place to lay their head tonight. They're living in alleys and on the street. They don't have the luxury of hopping in the shower. They don't have the luxury of watching me do readings, I mean, these are just simple things that a lot of people tend to take for granted. And it's not just you guys, okay? So don't think I'm targeting you guys. It's everybody. It's everybody. And that's why every time I see this card up, no matter whose reading it's in, I always go to the same spiel, basically, because a lot of people just tend to take things for granted. A lot of people just really become pessimistic, and they're like, this is wrong, and that's wrong, and this is wrong, and that's wrong, and I can't ever get out of this situation. I'm stuck. I don't have this. I don't have that. Well, that's your problem. Right there. Your attitude and the way you're thinking. You need to snap out of that negative, lacking state of mind. Because miracles can happen when you really direct your thoughts towards the positive. And the moment that you start acknowledging the very things that you do have, no matter how big or small, and being very grateful and thankful for the things you do have, that's when we start attracting more things to be grateful and thankful about. Okay, I'm going to jump off my soapbox. Okay, but, so, with the Four of Wands in reverse, this tells me that for some of you, this can indicate that there are some issues in the home. So, yeah, for some of you, this could be indicating that you might have to move. For some of you, this could be issues within the home where there's just like not a happy home right now. There could be issues within a marriage where it's kind of like the honeymoon is definitely over. For some of you, this can be like empty nest syndrome. So, if your child's done went away and went to college, that can really hit parents pretty hard sometimes. So, this could be many different things. For some, this can definitely be about changing residences. So, or for some of you, maybe you're having a hard time making ends meet as far as paying for your rent or your mortgage. Yeah, so, this can play out many different ways. But in general, this is definitely indicating that things are not as we would like them to be within the home and the home life. Okay, and it's clarified by the Tower in reverse, which is ruled by Mars. So, and so is Aries. So, basically something that was initially shocking and unexpected has come to an end, or is coming to an end soon. Okay, sometimes there can be feelings like maybe life is not giving you a fair shake. Like sometimes you can just feel like circumstances are conspiring against you, like no matter what you do, it's like, God, am I ever going to get a break? It's like, circumstances just, it can make you feel like everything is against you. Now, the good thing about the Tower card is it does help us to remove ourselves out of difficult situations. Sometimes people are stuck in certain situations, and then that Tower card comes in and it breaks that structure down in order to release us from that very situation. It's also a card that clears the karmic slate, so to speak. But when it's in the reverse like this, sometimes you might feel like you're being backed into a corner, but ultimately, if you're still hanging on to a situation in which there was a huge shock with, this is really about, it's time to, really read the writing on the wall and comprehend it. See it for what it really is. It's time to face the inevitable, But just know that a disruption that could have occurred in the home life, it's going to come to an end, okay? Things are getting better. They're going to get better. And like I said, if you're patient and tolerant and willing to work with other people and see the value and skills that other people bring, you're going to persevere, and you're going to be successful. Pure and simple. I know it's been rough, but it's about to get a whole lot better, Aries. I'm telling you. Okay, so love oracle cards. These are for the Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs that are single. Okay, first one out is free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. So for some of you, this could be, you know, self-limiting thoughts, perhaps maybe you've imprisoned yourself with the way that you've been thinking. You need to free yourself of it. Perhaps some of you might be feeling trapped in certain situations. Maybe you feel like you're trapped in a certain work situation that's just toxic. It's time to free yourself. And this is for the single people. So, it's like there's some sort of situation or behavior or attitudes where we need to free ourselves of them, okay? Because that unicorn's really not trapped, okay? That unicorn could get up and jump right over that fence. But yet there's the illusion of being trapped. And, it's like the Tower card right here. You're not trapped, okay? You're not trapped anymore. You just got to get out of it. You got to free yourself. Next one is heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. Okay, I apologize for that background noise. I had to pause so you guys didn't have to hear any more of it. Okay, so heart-to-heart conversations, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. So some of you could actually have someone in your life already that you might be considering having a relationship with. So this card's definitely saying don't be afraid to have a heart-to-heart conversation with this person. You might be surprised. Oh, and attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. And that's pretty funny because every time I see the Temperance card, when it's in the reversed position, I always say, slow down and smell the roses. Because if you slow down and smell and admire those roses, you just might find an opportunity that you wouldn't have found if you had not taken the time to slow down and smell them. So, yeah, it's pretty funny. So yes, you attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Just living in the moment. So it definitely seems like for those of you who are single, it definitely seems like, if you want a relationship, then, it definitely seems like things are turning in your favor. But not every Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising wants to be in a relationship. So it is a personal choice. Okay, so these will be for the Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs that are single, that are in a relationship or married. There we go. Oh, ow. All right. So first one is unrequited love. There's not enough attraction or chemistry to help to keep this relationship going. So, oh God, yeah. You're going to know if this resonates with you or not. If your relationship or your marriage seems fine, then don't take this on as your energy, okay? Trust me, for those of you that this resonates with, you're going to know immediately like that. And you don't want to stick around with somebody, where there's unrequited love. Give that love and all that loving energy to someone who actually will reciprocate, and will actually enjoy it and return it. And and be feeling grateful and thankful for your love. You know, you deserve better. That's blunt and to the point. You deserve better. You got to know when to hold your cards and when to fold them. Some people, you just don't want to keep going. That's a waste of energy. New love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. Okay. So, with this card, seeing how this is for the ones who are in relationships currently or married. So, let me just take a moment here. This card can definitely indicate that a potential love affair, extramarital affair could occur. Someone might stir those romantic feelings within you, and you just might consider giving in. But let me tell you, if you give in, there's going to be a whole lot of guilt at the end of it. So if there's something that wrong in the current relationship or marriage that you're in, you need to take that as a warning sign to either address the issues within that marriage or relationship or end it. We shouldn't be out here cheating, okay? Because that's just the wrong way and we're going to accrue some bad karma. Yeah, I'd rather not. I mean, do you? You know, do what you think is best. I'm just saying, I personally would not. I would not do that. So, next one up is this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So, especially for those of you who are in like new relationships, maybe you're wondering, is this person the one? Well, they very well could be. For some of you who are considering the cheating, new love, and you could be wondering, is this the one? Well, you know what? You need to close one relationship out before you start another. Okay? And engagement. Your love life is ascending to a higher level of commitment. So, for those of you who are maybe wondering, gee, I'm in this great relationship. I wonder if it'll ever evolve into more. Well, this card pops up to say, yes, it will. But, this happens over the course of time, so don't expect it to happen, by next month, okay? For some of you it might, but that's only going to be a very, very few. So this is something that typically plays out over, months, sometimes years. So, okay, now it's time for positive affirmations. I swear all of my readings have been way over an hour. But, we're getting hit hard here with all these retrogrades, and plus we've got this eclipse coming up. Actually, we've got 2 eclipses in June, or July, excuse me. First one's July 12th, which is solar eclipse, 21 degrees of Cancer. So if anybody has anything 18 to 24 degrees of Cancer in their chart, yeah, an angle or a planet, yeah, then you'll be getting eclipsed. And then we have a lunar eclipse. I believe that one is July 27th, and I'm pretty sure that's like 4 or 5 degrees of Aquarius. So, yeah, the same thing applies. Look to the angular houses and the planets. Also, like if you have anything in, between 18 to 24 degrees of Capricorn, that would be something as well to look at, because anytime we have an eclipse and we have a planet exactly the opposite of it, that's the same as that planet getting eclipsed. Okay, moving forward, because otherwise this is going to be an hour and a half. Actually longer. But if I start getting into astrology, I could just talk. Especially under your guys' energy. Okay, so first card is 10 of Earth. So that's a good money card. Affluence, material abundance, mastery, financial security, inherited wealth, and knowledge. I am now able to step back and observe the results of what I built through my dedication and hard work. I claim ownership of the castles I built that have taken form in the material world. I've achieved mastery and inherited treasures of knowledge and experience thanks to all I have been through. I smile appreciatively at my run of good fortune. Love that. Love. Isn't that such a beautiful picture? The lion, the woman. Love it. Love, oneness. In all of life, there is only the illusion of separation. In fact, we are all reflections of one another. When I make choices, I tend to see things as either or. What if every choice I make about an experience, a sharing, and exploring? When I choose to see the unity in all things, magic abounds. Love is all around me. Spirit loves me unconditionally, and I can give and receive abundant love. Yes, you can. Justice, also known as karma. The law of cause and effect is in play now. As I see elements in my life balance out, what goes around comes around. I'm now seeing evidence of this law in the conditions of my world. 5 of water. And this one's definitely pretty heavy, especially emotionally. Releasing grief, allowing sadness to rise and fall, forgiveness, the ebb and flow of emotion. I feel the fullness of my emotions as they wash through me. The ebb and flow are part of life, and I am present in my feelings today. I fully forgive myself and others and let go of any emotions that were holding me back from acknowledging the truth. I deserve the freedom that comes when I release what is no longer working for me. I make amends to those I may have harmed when my emotion was coloring my perceptions. I surrender any resentments to the divine, knowing they can be transformed into miracles. Fearless inventories lead to liberation. Ooh, 9 of Earth. Which, actually, you guys had that. Disciplined self-reliance, reliable resources, restraint, and self-control. The final stone is placed in the foundation. I know I can rely on myself in spirit. There are many tools at my disposal, and I use my resources wisely, solidifying the foundation of my security in the material world. I am diligent and disciplined, focused on completing the work I began long ago. I stick to my program, trusting that the plan is unfolding before me exactly as Spirit intended. Well, that's beautiful. And I'd say those are some very good, positive messages, especially in regard to finances and love. So, and hey, karma too.